Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about BB7 All-Stars Episode 3. It's our first eviction.
Yes, it is. But first, if you are new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description. Okay, Sarah, we're getting to the good stuff here.
Yeah, we are. You know what's funny, David, is like I totally remember this season and I'm like watching along. But this entire time, I thought the other person was evicted first. And
Really?
so I was like in a whole other world right up until the last minute. And I was like, wait, what? That's not how I remember watching this show. So
well,
it's
for getting it, because I will say, like, the way this went down, it felt like a really split house. And like, I thought that it was a really compelling eviction episode because it was kind of like, which way are they going to go? Everybody keeps talking about like first eviction, people are going to want to go with the majority, but where's the majority? You know, like I didn't know who was going to go.
Yeah, and we don't really know how it kind of switched because something did happen there to make the majority go a certain way. But let's start from the beginning because we get two interesting sound bites. The first one from Allison is she's the most vengeful bee in this house. And it's like, girl, yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
So glad that you're self-aware.
She knows. Yeah.
And then Danielle wants to play as clean as possible. It's like she kind of learned quickly. Yeah. From her first few days in the house. Also learned things from the last time she played.
Right. Yeah. But I think like she almost was kind of affected by the last time that she played in her behavior in these first few days, because she came in like super confident, you know, because she dominated her season, came so close to winning. People thought she should have won. She was robbed, right?
Yeah.
So she's thinking like, yeah, this is an all-star season, but like I'm still one of the best players of all time. So I got this. And maybe it was like a bit too cocky. So she definitely is like, I'm not giving up, but you know, I just really need to like clean this up and like, you know, I think she said in the previous episode, like, let Allison sink herself. And it feels like she's going to do that. But there's a lot of like conversations now with votes, right? They're both campaigning with different people. We see Danielle sit down with Janelle to like count votes. You know, you can tell that Janelle wants Allison gone, obviously. But it's interesting to see like these different conversations happen and who has votes where.
I feel like Danielle is doing the work that I wanted her to do on like day 1, day 2. Yeah. She started to stir that pot, but I was like, wait, get your group first. Like have your peeps. Yeah. And now she's like, okay, let me build some relationships. Let me have some, you know, more calm conversations where we're not really just stirring the pot. We're just talking.
Right.
So good to see that.
Yeah.
Will has a theory. As he does, because he's a smart person. Yeah. And he says, if we keep Allison in the house, she will take on Janelle. Like that is who Allison wants out. And yes, it is. She's made that clear. Yeah. So leave her in the house. They don't like barely have to work at getting Janelle out.
Oh yeah. And they all want Janelle gone. Like they're all, like we've talked about these first couple of episodes, all they're talking about is this season 6 alliance. And Janelle put a huge target on her back, even bigger than would have been there by, you know, winning this first HOH and then winning the veto. So they're all like, okay, yeah, Janelle's got to go. So maybe we keep Allison and just like let her handle it, get the blood on her hands, you know?
Yes. Now, this conversation between Allison and James is interesting. Like she sits him down.
What was this about?
To talk through some stuff. Because Allison is like, she's a vengeful bee, but like she's smart. No, and then this conversation, I was like, wait, are you? What's happening right now?
I know. She's like, it's interesting that we got like 2 runners up on the block in week 1 of All-Stars. Makes sense. Like that makes you a huge target. But I was definitely surprised by this conversation with James. In fact, I watched it twice because I was like, what is going on here? Like, what is the strategy? Because she says, I'll never get Howie's, you know, she's counting votes with James. I'll never get Howie, Kaser, and Erica because that's who I'm going after, or something like that. And it sounded in the edit like she was saying, like, I'm going after them. Yeah. And I'm like, A, I thought you were going after Janelle. And B, why would you tell James that you're going after Howie and Kaser?
Right. And that's basically what James says is like, wait, you just told me like 2 of the 3 people you mentioned are part of season 6. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, on one hand, great, they're really on the down low, except she knows they're not on the down low. Although James is shifty and shady, like, it's possible she thought James is on the outs. He's not really in with them. That wouldn't surprise me. But I was surprised she didn't say Janelle. She's like, I'll never get these votes because I'm going after them. Maybe she just didn't mention Janelle because Janelle can't vote.
That could be. Yeah. I mean, what I thought, like the reason I went back is because I thought like, did she mean I won't get their votes because they know I'm going after Janelle and they are with Janelle?
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. But like when I watched it back again, like that's not what she said. So I don't know if it was like an editing thing where they, you know, strung together 2 sentences and left out maybe a crucial piece of info. But it makes more sense for her to say, like, we all know I'm going after Janelle and we all know that Howie, Kaser, and Erica are aligned with Janelle already. So I won't have their votes. But it was just a strange conversation. And like you said, James is in the diary room, like, well, I have to make sure you go home this week. Like, thank you for that information. Like, now I have to get you out of the house. Yeah,
you're dangerous to keep in. You're going to take out my allies. Yeah, absolutely. I think that Erica won't vote for Allison because of their past relationship. So I do 100%. Think that you're mentioning editing is probably what it is because Erica's thrown in there for other reasons. But anyway, okay. Right. So then we get an interesting confessional in the DR from Danielle where she's really upset. Gosh.
Yeah.
She's talking about coming out of her previous season, coming out so close to winning and just getting a lot of crap. You know, people... She didn't win because people were mad at her and upset. And I just found that so interesting since we've just gone through season 40 of Survivor. Yeah. And we learned a lot about this coming out of a reality show and how it really messes with you.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is like early days of people realizing how important jury management is, you know, and like how devastating it can be for you as an individual on a personal level if you walk out of the game being hated by your fellow players, you know? And she was saying like, I was not here for these other people. Like I was here for me and my family and just trying to get this money for my family to like change our lives. And I was willing to do whatever it took. And then like, boy, did I get burned for it. Like tears are streaming down her face in the diary room. Like it is still obviously very fresh. And this is like, I think 3 or 4 years removed from when she, you know, was runner up. Like it is stuck with her and it's really
and it's probably coming back because she's back in that environment. Yeah. So it's like coming back to her and she's like, oh, it hurt and it was hard to get through. Right. So it's so fascinating to see what it does to you to win and to not win, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Marcellus has the best quote here. He's like, which one to vote for? I don't know, gonorrhea or the clap?
Which I was like, wait, which one is the clap? And I Googled it and it's gonorrhea.
They're the same.
So it's the same thing. I guess I don't know that he meant to do that, but
maybe he did. Maybe he was like, they are the same.
Yeah. How do you pick? They are equally bad.
But it was the greatest quote ever. Okay, so as we're like moving through this episode, we see one vote to evict first, and that is Diane voting to evict Danielle. We hear from several people in the diary room like they do. Here's a reason to vote for Allison. Here's a reason to vote for, you know, Danielle. So the only one we see is Diane.
Right. Yes. And she does vote for Danielle. And we saw that like in this episode, like she was, you know, having one-on-ones with Allison, counting votes with Allison. So I wasn't, you know, the ones they show are usually the more predictable ones. So I was not surprised to see Diane vote for Danielle.
Right. Exactly. Thank you, Faith, for the super chat.
Thanks,
Thank
Faith.
you. Okay. Now, this is a Jace segment.
Okay. He is a trip. I will say, I think it was before I don't know if it was before or after the package on Jace, but when he was in the HOH room talking to Julie, saying that like, talking about how he's, you know, he's like a family man now, right? Like he's a changed man, sitting there with that crazy spiky hair in a sleeveless V-neck Argyle sweater with a tie on his neck. I was like, you look like the same guy. Like you're still, I guess it's just a personality thing that's changed because the look is the same.
I don't like the hair, but you have to remember this is what 2006. The look that I love the sweater and the tie. You
loved it.
I stand by it. That's hilarious. Oh my god. I mean, I don't think he meant to be like hot about it. I think he means to be funny.
No, it's funny, right? But it's like it doesn't scream like I'm a father, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, he's not quite a father yet. He just met the girl of his dreams. They're not even married yet. He's just like, I think I like her. I think she's the one.
Right.
But yeah, he's talking about playing a more refined game.
Yeah.
Julie says he was one of the least popular house guests of his season, but he was voted in by America. So he's not like that unpopular.
Yeah.
But he definitely is toning it down. He's not being like the wild and obnoxious crazy guy because guess what? There's Howie in the house.
Oh,
so you don't have to be.
Exactly. Let Howie bear the brunt of that attention. And Jason's saying like, you know, I'm not going to win everything. I'm not going to get the showmance. Like I think it's interesting like to see this. We just saw this on Survivor a lot, but it's about like, how are you going to tweak your game? You know, you all lost except for Will. So what are you changing up this time to like try a new strategy? So his is definitely about like, I'm just going to be a little bit more under the radar this season, which is hard with that look, like I said, but
it's hard. It's hard to do, but he's doing it right now, and it is a good idea. You should keep that up, Jace.
For sure.
The next vote to evict that we see is from George for Allison, which makes sense because we did see Danielle work on him.
Yep. They
she does. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, George is like, that was a smart one for her to go and like secure right away because he's nowhere. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't even know where the diary room is. You know, like this is a completely different game from when he played Big Brother. He probably doesn't know any of these people. There are no like prior relationships. So
Chicken George is the first person I would get in my back pocket. I would have a final two with him within the first couple days.
Right.
You want him sitting next to you. You want him as a blind follower. Absolutely. So glad she finally did that. So she got him to vote for Allison. Okay, now we get a great Allison segment.
Whoa.
David.
Okay. Yeah. So she was a flirt and a liar, you know, her first season. Like the way they edited this was like, okay, don't hold anything back in this Allison match.
No, they were throwing shade left and right on Allison. And then they legit bring up her showmance from that season and her current boyfriend.
Okay, Sarah, we got to talk about the current boyfriend. This man looked like he was straight out of Central Casting, his white doctor coat and the like half-covered stethoscope around his neck. I was like, where did they find this person? Is he actually real?
Right. They like dressed him up. They were like, what can we put the props on you? Are you really a doctor? I don't know. It was hilarious. But he also just like, he did seem like an actor. He was so out of it in like not, I don't think you realize who Allison is.
No.
We need to look up if they got married because they're engaged at this point. We need to find out if they are still together, what happened, because he was all like, you know, if she behaves like she would never behave like this. And if she does, it's over. And I'm like, whoop, whoop.
Record scratch. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Did y'all talk about that?
That was a great package. So I really enjoyed the Allison package.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, we get a few more votes.
We see Kaser vote for Allison, right? And we see Nokomis votes for Danielle. So we are going into the announcement with 2 votes on each of these ladies. And I truly don't know at this point how it's going to go because like I said, it just was like they kept counting numbers throughout the episode, and they were both counting the same people at different points. So it was like, how did this all shake out, you know?
Yes, thank you. We have another super chat from Fred.
Fred, thank you.
You're amazing, Fred. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the support.
Yeah, so as I said before, I think it's going the opposite way. So all of this editing of like Allison will keep her in and she'll go after Janelle.
Yeah.
And, you know, Will has said things like everyone loves Danielle. So like that's a key, like we don't need to keep her, like keep the person in that no one likes. She's a shield in front of all of us. So that's where my head is at. But again, you know, this is one of those seasons where we don't vote live in the diary room, so we get to see those 4 votes that we've seen so far, and then Julie comes on to tell us it was 8-2.
Okay.
And Danielle, you're safe. Allison, you're going
safe. Yeah, so the only 2 votes for Danielle were, like we said, Diane and Nokomis were the only 2 who voted for Danielle to get evicted. And so Allison's gone. I mean, I guess it should have been a little bit of like a hint that they showed us an Allison package and not a Danielle package, because they're like, oh, okay, we got to like get our Allison shine in because like we're never going to have another opportunity, you know?
I guess so. Yeah. But it could have been also like she's the one we're going to keep, so we gave her a package. You never know. But they were really hard leaning that Danielle was going to be evicted. So I guess that's what I should have paid attention to. Because I was just like, yeah, Danielle's getting evicted. Yeah. I don't know why I remembered that. Revisionist history. Yeah. Okay. But as Allison walks out the door, David, I don't think Julie and CBS liked Allison.
It was a bit of an awkward interview because
I mean, first off, Julie throws out an amazing race burn like right off the bat. Because it's true, Allison played Amazing Race right before she came back on Big Brother and like was out the second group to be evicted, like did not have a good showing. And Julie's like, haha, you can't even do that show. Ha ha ha. Julie.
It's like, okay, this is a Big Brother All-Star. Like,
wow, I just got evicted. Calm down. Then Julie says, are you your own worst enemy? And okay, David, if you're ever interviewed and someone says that to you, you should stop and go, oh, shoot, do you think that I am?
This is not going well. This is not a good interview for me. I might need to leave.
Allison's like, no, I don't think so. But no one would ask you that if they don't think that you are.
Well, and then Julie, you know, good old Julie, she keeps those receipts and she busts out that quote. Like it's one of those interviews where she confronts you with your own words. And she says like, let me read a quote from Miss Allison. This is a direct quote. And I quote, you said you would pull her out by her fake boobs and her fake hair and drown her in the pool. What do you say to that?
You called her a fat bee. It's like, whoa. Oh my God. Luckily, Allison does have the appropriate response. She's embarrassed to hear that those were her words, as she should be.
Yeah.
That is, if you like heard that and were like, stand by it. Yep.
Right.
Then we got problems.
Or heard it and tried to make any kind of excuse. Like you're just digging the hole deeper when you try to do that. So it really was honestly kind of refreshing in this, especially now, like in this day and age, for her to be confronted with some messed up stuff that she said. And for her to just say like, that is embarrassing to hear read out loud. I apologize. I couldn't have said that. And that's it. And that's all people ever really want to hear. You know, in that kind of a situation. So I was like, okay, like you shouldn't have said it, but like kudos to you for just owning up and saying like, yeah, that's awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We get some goodbye messages. The one that I thought was the most interesting was Erica's, because she's like teary. She's crying and she's saying like, I really felt like I needed to get you back. Like I needed like payback. Like I needed to be the one responsible to like get you out the door. But obviously that's not true to my core because it's upsetting me and it's like hard for me to do it.
Yeah, right. It's like not really the catharsis that she thought she needed, you know, like it's actually just kind of hurts her even more, it sounds like. See, the 2 that stood out to me were Boogie, because he says, Allison, if you're hearing this, the tide turned at the last minute. So I was like, is that true? Is he just saying, you know, like you never know if people are just saying, because it's all pre-recorded and they record one for each person. And so interesting. I wonder if there's like truth there and if we'll see anything behind the scenes of how this vote went down. And then Nokomis's was kind of interesting because she voted to evict Danielle to save Allison, but her speech, Allison felt like she was giving it to someone she voted to evict, because she's like, listen, you came in here and you lied too much and you know, you did it all yourself. So not sorry. You know, it kind of had that vibe to it. And I was like, voted to keep her. What?
Right. I think what she meant was, look, I tried. Like, I voted the other way, but like, it's on you. Back to Julie being like, are you your own worst enemy? It's like, Nokomis is like, girl, you did it. You lied left and right. You got caught and they got you out for it. You know, I think is what she meant. But yeah, she certainly didn't like hold any like empathy or. Okay, so now we find out that we're going to do an HOH and Allison gets to stick around for it.
Sure. Allison Rules is the name of this game, and it is a true-false game. They didn't really need Allison to participate, but, you know, she was just there to answer true or false live to these.
This felt like, David, this felt like one of those things when you're in the producer room and you're like, it's an all-star season. How do we make it different? And somebody suggested, let's keep the person evicted into the HOH. And they were like, yes.
Yeah, right. Let's try it.
And then we were like, nah, it's good. We're fine.
Don't need it. You can just
don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was interesting because the first 2 questions, everybody's right. Question 3, everybody's wrong except Kaser and Nokomis. Like,
right? Like bonkers. Like everyone's out but 2. Like everyone could have been out but 1. That would have been insane. Okay. Yeah. So this true false type of thing, we saw that in BB6. Like this is kind of what they do around this time, where everyone stands right there in a booth. We're just going to say true or false. We're just guessing what Allison answered, which is always confusing. It can be confusing, which apparently it was because the majority of people got one wrong. David, who will gain the most weight this summer? None of your business, big brother. What kind of trashy question was that?
I know. They are mean in these old seasons.
Oh, gross. Okay. No, thank you. Moving on. So yeah, it's down to Nokomis and Kaser for the last 1 or 2 questions, right? And then quickly it's over.
Yeah. And Julie has her, you know, was it Steve Harvey who announced the wrong?
Yes.
It's another like Moonlight at the Oscars, you know, Julie.
Yes.
Nokomis, you're the HOH. Wait. No, sorry. Kate, you're the HOH.
Julie, she's so flustered by Allison. She can't get it straight. Yeah, she totally messed up. Luckily, it wasn't as bad as the Steve Harvey one.
Yeah, right.
But close. So Kaser wins. Okay. Guess what? He's part of season 6.
Yeah. I mean, and Howie like let everybody, as if they didn't already know that the season were together. Howie is like jumping up and down, lifting Kaser in the air, screaming like so relieved that his, you know, his boy is the new HOH. And now season 6 gets to, you know, have their pick. Truly, you know, because obviously Janelle had to split with Jace. And now they just get to sit down, the 4 of them, and figure out like, who's it going to be? And we already know that Kaser is gunning for Will. So I imagine that Will is going to get what he's been wanting all season, which is to be nominated.
Interesting thinking, David. Yes. One would think that. That would make sense.
Yes.
We will see what actually happens. Of course, I probably could be forgetting everything completely because
I thought that you knew everything that happened this season, but we're misremembering things already.
Yeah, already. Yeah, this brain does not remember things. No, not at all. I have a totally different version of season 7 in my head.
Right, yeah.
It is. Will be interesting to see how people react to Kaser because he is the second hated person in this house. First Janelle, second Kaser, I guess. Yeah. So that is where we are. So you guys, next Monday we will be back with the next recap, but it will be episodes 4 and 5.
Right.
So it'll be
because we're going to get into this cadence of the evictions will be on Wednesdays, and we'll do like the HOH and the veto. Well, we already know the HOH, but the noms and the veto on Monday.
Yes.
So
right. It'll be like the bulk of Kaser's HOH is what we will cover on Monday. And for those of you who are patrons, stay tuned. Give us maybe 15 minutes or so, and we will hop on over there to do our heroes versus villains recap.
Which is so good. These old seasons are legit. Like this is, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know what it's going to be like watching like shows from 10 years ago, but like, 16 years ago or 14 years ago for BB, but it is so
a lot.
Loving it.
Seth, thank you so much for the super chat. You did some sleuthing. Allison did not marry the fake doctor, and her husband seems like a nice man who is not a paid actor. So it worked out. It worked out. Wasn't that guy.
And the info. We appreciate that. Because I didn't want to Google it because like I didn't want like spoilers.
No, I know.
So I appreciate
we have to wait till the end of the season to Google because you accidentally stumble across spoilers since this was
already did
1,000 years ago.
I was reading about the rumors of the BB22 might be an All-Stars season, and then they were like, the last time they did an All-Stars was season 7, and so won, and I was like, damn it, I didn't want to know that.
Oh no, David's been spoiled.
Yeah, they got me.
Speaking of potential All-Stars this summer, we are going to do some videos for that. We're going to talk about cast possibilities and things like that. So keep an eye out for that over the next couple of weeks, you guys, because we got some speculating to do.
Our favorite thing to do.
Totally. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you either next on Patreon or we'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Okay. Bye.
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 Bye.